Tyler never affects anything that our narrator couldn't have affected himself. But we decided to throw in this one little thing at the beginning. I just love the idea of, he meets this guy in the plane. This guy doesn't seem to have any kind of cares in the world. He cuts right to the fucking bone with his, you're clever. How's that working out for you? And then he goes, our hero loses his luggage. He's trapped with this, bureaucratic, security guy in the luggage terminal. And he looks out and he sees the guy seems to have all the answers and all the moves, and the guy hops over the side of this red sports car convertible and just takes off. And he's just like, some guys have all the luck. And then as he turns away, I love the idea that this guy comes running in the background going, "Hey, that's my car." But it's definitely a DVD moment. Not a lot of people saw it.
You know the industry slang for flight attendant? Air mattress. Got it?
When I first moved to LA, I lived in Westwood, and I rented this apartment. It was we used to refer to it as the Miami Vice Hospital. It was like this brand new white, that kind of blown cottage cheese, like kind of stippled exterior, and these like turquoise metal window frames, and literally the layout of the apartment is exactly the layout of the apartment. I always wanted to blow that place up, but it was based on that, and I always loved the idea of, he describes it as Chuck describes it in the book as the filing cabinet for widows and young professionals. And I always loved the idea of seeing this whole thing blow out onto the street and all this, that's kind of, what would it have been at that point? It would have been like Memphis, like furniture from Oz or someplace like that, just flaming out into the tops of trees. And we couldn't do that. We ended up not being able to afford to actually see the thing explode, so we had this idea of like what the police would later tell me, and then he sort of runs down what it is that's happened, and you sort of end with the explosion. But the building, the layout of his apartment is really based on this apartment that I had in Westwood.
Fast, you're fast. Everything else is perfect. Action one, right away. Right away. Too fast.
On this,
Yep. On the pan and the truck. Just get through there. The one thing we gotta see is that coffee. Good. Yeah.
you were trespassing.
And then you're trespassing, and then it will. I like that.
I can go back out.
I like going around. Okay. Okay. And action.
Sorry about the misunderstanding. It's not gonna happen. Not the end of the world, just go away. Go.
You do that as you're passing.
You were trespassing.
Now, this
We'll
should
have
be
to call
a
the
little bit
police.
closer to it. Okay, show me B. B rolling. Watch the scene. This is. I want to be able to cut to this.
Look, fella. I'm sorry about the misunderstanding.
I like that. You can lean.
It's not gonna happen. Not the end of the world, just go away. Go. Because you were trespassing. I will have to call the police. Don't be a dick.
Okay. Hey, Mark. And act. Okay, and one last one.
Where's your car?
Well,
car?
Chief found God, and what is the deal? In action.
I want this to have the same thing.
Less time in between the swing and the line, and action.
Oh, gosh. Very cool. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
And cut it.
Two black shirts. Sir. Two pair of black pants. Sir. One pair of black boots. Sir. Two pair of black socks. Sir. One black jacket. Sir. Too old, man. Fuck off.
Now, Tyler was a night person. While the rest of us were sleeping, he worked. He had a part-time job as a projectionist. Now, a movie doesn't come on one big reel, it's on a few. So somebody has to change projectors at the exact second when one reel ends and another one begins. If you look for it, you can see two dots on the screen in the upper right-hand corner of the frame. Boop.
In the industry, they're known as cigarette burners.
Cut.
Tyler was a night person. While the rest of us were sleeping, he worked. He had one part-time job as a projectionist. See, a movie doesn't come all on one big reel, it comes on a few, so someone has to be there to switch the projectors at the exact moment when one reel ends and another one begins. If you look for it, you can see these two little dots in the upper right-hand corner of the screen.
In the industry, we call them cigarette burners.
That's the cue for a changeover. The projectionist switches them, movie keeps right on going, audience doesn't have any idea.
Why would anyone want this shit job?
Well, because it affords them interesting opportunities. So when the snotty cat and the courageous dog with the celebrity voices meet for the first time in reel 3, that's when you'll catch a flash of Tyler's contribution.
See how it hung? My jism hung.
Fantastic.
Roll camera, and action.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, drop.
We need to do this again sometime.